Mr. Mianda described the president's recent pledge to double economic growth if granted a second term as commendable. However, he emphasized that such a goal can only be achieved through collective effort between government and the citizens. He urged the head of state to prioritize key sectors such as agriculture, stressing the need for adequate support to ensure that the sector significantly contributes to national development agenda. Mr. Mianda further called on President Hichilema to closely monitor his cabinet, ensuring that all ministers are aligned with and actively working towards the government's socio-economic development goals.
President Hakainde Hichilema actually is asking for the second term and is promising that during this time around you'll be able to double the economy of this country. Now, what we know is that President Hakainde Hichilema is a very hard-working man. He's a 24/7 man. He works day and night. Now, the challenge that we have is the people that surround him, the people who actually have been appointed to work with him, the people that we call policy implementers. He does not have. Most of these ministers and many other appointees are not with him in this era, and that alone cannot actually guarantee that President Hakainde Hichilema will be able to double the economy of this country. Why? Because growing the economy is not one man's show. Growing the economy calls for concerted efforts from all stakeholders, that should include farmers who should access cheaper, farming inputs, such as fertilizer. Any other sectors such as businessmen who are able to do whatever they are doing to contribute to the growth of the economy. But as long as we have no liquidity in the system, we have no liquidity in circulation, we have no money in circulation, then even these businessmen and women are dwindling. They are not doing as expected. So you cannot talk of growing the economy when you are just one-man commando. We hope as he does that, he's also looking at the people that surround him to ensure that come next year after 2026 general elections, if Zambians are to give him that mandate, then he should be able to refine his team and ensure that he put the right people in these right positions for him to work as a team, not as a loner. So in this case, we are saying this calls for concerted efforts from people that are appointed. So most of these people that have been appointed are a big let down to the president and even to the people of Zambia, because they are not actually doing what the president is doing.
Siavonga Member of Parliament Darius Malunda has commissioned 6 constituents development fund completed projects, with 6 more earmarked for commission by the end of next week. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, Area Member of Parliament Darius Malunda highlighted the importance of constituents development fund, citing the need of development in rural areas. Mr. Malunda says the aim is to increase local development through modern infrastructure across the country. He employed the locals to continue supporting government, stating that the new structures are not just bricks and mortar, but are promises fulfilled and symbols of inclusive development. And District Commissioner Jacobo reiterated the need for non-partisan development, emphasizing that government is determined to bring services closer to the people, regardless of their geographical location.
Party a vote to form government. All the facilities, educational facilities, health facilities, and the other infrastructures will be brought to a place like this one. Twagashomera uti mwabu apabwe woti tuyabujitobo. Inchobeni mwagayibona uti ikliniki temwe ibona uti yagabola. Tumane bo tugamba kuti hena mwi unoona mumundana na unoona mukoche. Tugamba kuti musirisa awaloko kuti werede ikubanganda. Baga inde nibaga yungi amali CDF no bantu baleza kuzwa 1.6 mu 2022 guyosika ku 25.7. Ijintu chibaganda festival utijitwe agali mayage azigolo alimu azibadera. Manda abasilisi amanda abamai. Nibaga pa malayo kuma kanso eke dawa ni agape kwa malayo. enrollment abahaga inde yagalanga mutabi iwanseba the Ministry of Health imutabi iwalwiyo Ministry of Education baganjije abana besu milimo tema kababona kuti bana besu baganjira milimo bamanase iziko balite
boy awu tibasirisi gabakala bamayiga bakala bana besu gabajana kwagwiya cyo twaborera sunu kugitote mubone uti yo twashomeka tuyabuzuzigi hayi so ndiyandoti ndimulombeje ntujomwe jigolo muri tubayaga inde hijire mabageta free education etabuli ngombo bo gamupaga mbirilawe free education jambo oti bana wonse bonke kujigolo kambo kunyina kupatala noba part patala mizenge koiri so twaborera sunu tonse tulikwena tubere mupi atuhane.
Climate smart agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has welcomed the government's focus that Zambia is set to produce over 3 million metric tons of maize in the 2024-2025 farming season, an impressive 7% increase from the previous year. Dr. Bulaya attributes this growth to the collective efforts of various stakeholders in the agriculture sector, including the Ministry of Agriculture, research institutions, private sector seed and fertilizer companies, and both public and private extension service providers. He says the projected increase is not merely a result of expanded cultivation, but a reflection of improved productivity per hectare. He pointed to the adoption of high-performing seed varieties, better fertilizer application techniques, and the growing shift towards climate-smart agriculture, CSA, as major contributors to this success.
This information from the Ministry of Agriculture over the projected maize yields, which is likely over 3 million metric tons, as a good, move, and it is also indicating a representative of 7% increase from the previous year's yields. We commend, the Ministry of Agriculture efforts towards improving our production and productivity amongst our small and medium farmers, and also we commend the seed companies, the equipment companies, and also the fertilizer companies, and all the partners that are very pertinent, especially in the agricultural value chains, that have contributed to this realization of 3 million metric tons, and above all the extensionists, agricultural extensionists, that have done it all in terms of giving support to the farmers, especially in areas of good management of crops. And there are key factors that have contributed, according to the government information, based on the anticipated yield. It's primarily attributed to production rather than merely expanding the cultivated areas. This means that the farmers have enhanced production levels per unit areas, and we need to do much more to maintain this and to increase this even further. Also, the adoption of improved technologies, such as the uptake of seeds that are tolerant to climate change.
This is the main news coming to you live on THOMPSON channel 106, as well as on Camnet Media and on our Facebook and YouTube page, which is Camnet TV. We now take our final and last set of commercials, and do join me with the rest of the news, which is international stories as well as sports news after the break. Keep watching.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on THOMPSON channel 106 on Canstream Media, as well as on YouTube, Camnet TV, and our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. In international news, U.S. airstrikes targeting the Ras Al Al port held by Yemen's Houthi rebels killed 20 people and wounded 50 others, the group said early Friday. The strikes, confirmed by the U.S. Military Central Command, represented one of the highest reported death tolls so far in the campaign launched under President Donald Trump that has involved hundreds of strikes since March 15th. The Houthis, Al Masirah's satellite news channel, aired graphic footage of the aftermath of the attack, showing corpses strewn across the site. It said paramedic and civilian workers at the port had been killed in the attack, which sparked a massive explosion and fires. In a statement, Central Command said the U.S. forces took action to eliminate this source of fuel for the Iran-backed Houthi terrorists and deprive them of illegal revenue that has funded Houthi efforts to terrorize the entire region for over 10 years. Here is a roundup of international news.
As violence continues to escalate in eastern DRC, families returning to their communities after months or even years of displacement are met with ruin, hunger, and uncertainty. These families that are returning home don't have land to cultivate and have lost their sources of income. Beneficiaries who recently returned to Kibumba share harrowing stories of survival and resilience. When we returned, we found many dilapidated houses. The luckiest found their houses without doors and without roofs. We used tarpaulins to cover the houses and crammed into them with other families. And that's how we live so far. Despite the urge to rebuild, the road ahead is uncertain. For many returning home, it's only the beginning of another struggle. If we're lucky enough to return to our own village, we will need to rehabilitate or rebuild our houses, have food, household items until we can harvest the produce from our fields. The United Nations wants that the situation in the DRC remains one of the most complex and underfunded humanitarian crises globally, with more than 25 million people in need of aid. And the United States has issued a strong call for Rwanda to withdraw its forces from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and immediately cease all support for the M23 rebel group, deepening Washington's stance on the ongoing crisis in the region. During a digital press briefing, U.S. Senior Advisor for Africa and Deputy Assistant Secretary for African Affairs underscored that Rwanda's military involvement in the Eastern DRC is unacceptable and is a key driver of instability. This public rebuke aligns with the findings of multiple UN reports that have documented Rwanda's military backing of the M23, an armed group accused of widespread human rights abuses and civilians in Eastern DRC. The U.S. officials emphasized that while both the Congolese army and M23 are implicated in abuses, the scale and systematic nature of atrocities committed by M23 warrant urgent international condemnation and action.
US airstrikes have hit the Ras Issa oil port in Yemen, killing 20 people and injuring 50 more, according to Houthi officials. The US military confirmed the strike but hasn't said whether civilians were among the dead. The port along Yemen's Red Sea coast is a key fuel site controlled by the Iran-backed Houthis. Satellite images later showed major fires at the scene. US forces say the goal was to cut off the Houthis' money and supplies, not to harm civilians. But Houthi leaders are calling the attack a violation of Yemen's sovereignty, saying it hit a vital civilian facility. The strike
We monitored Sky Sports News.
I'm afraid we start with some very sad news this hour, and the former Rochdale midfielder Joe Thompson has passed away after battling cancer for a third time. Well, Thompson, who started his career at Manchester United before joining Rochdale in 2006, made over 200 appearances for them. He was first diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2013, but battled that to return to football in 2014 with Bury. But several months later, the disease returned, and it took him away from football for 9 more months. He was eventually forced to retire from football in 2019. Joey Thompson passed away at his family home on Thursday with his family by his side. Well, his former club Rochdale have released this statement. Known by those close to Rochdale as Joey T, he made over 200 appearances for his local team, representing the badge with pride. We first knew Joe primarily as a talented footballer, but we would soon grow to adore his loving, infectious personality. He faced every battle head-on, both on and off the pitch. His journey and indomitable spirit have been an inspiration for everyone who has been touched by his story. Above all of that, Joe was a loving husband to Chantal and an incredible... Our thoughts are with Joe's family and friends at this incredibly sad time. Well, Thompson started his career at Manchester United in their academy, and they said, a man who epitomised our club's values. We are saddened to share that Joe Thompson has passed away, a warm personality who had a deep connection with our club from a young age. Our thoughts are with Joe's family and friends at this difficult time. Well, Joe's wife, Chantal, has paid a moving tribute to him on social media. Joe has made such an impact on so many people, and we are all forever grateful for him blessing us with his presence and for being so strong and staying with us as long as he did against all the odds. He was the most incredible husband, son, brother, friend and father to our beautiful daughters, who will now carry his light and legacy on, and I will continue to keep filling them up with Joe's love every single day. And she goes on to say, Joe wanted an open funeral, so everyone who feels that Joe in any way made an impact to their lives and wishes to attend can do so. Once we know more around dates, etc., we will be sharing that on his socials. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of this journey with us. We are all forever grateful.
On that sad note, we've come to the end of the main news. Remember, you've been watching us live on THOMPSON channel 106 on Camnet Media, as well as on our YouTube channel Camnet TV, and on our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Cyber Security Act detrimental, emphasizes CHANGALA. Do not participate in protest, cautions ZNUT. NMCZ justifies 50 students pay enrollment. In international news, U.S. airstrikes Q20 at Yemen or port held by Houthis. And in sports news, former Rochdale midfielder JUSTIFIES has died aged 36. We now look at the calmness verse of the day, coming from the book of John 15 verse 13. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you all.
Get all the latest updates in court news,